Fiancé Justin Parker's first love is making a scene, insisting on joining me for the mountain expedition. I warned them beforehand. This is a highly specialized activity. Everyone must follow my lead without causing any complications. But just a minute ago, she was flirting with Justin and threw the bag containing the tracking device off the cliff. Sis, I didn't mean to. Xu Qingyao put on an innocent face. Aren't you the most familiar with this area? You'll definitely get us out safely. I suppressed the urge to hit someone and sternly lectured her. Do you realize how easy it is to get lost in the mountains? If you throw away the positioning device, we could very well freeze to death here. Xu Qingyao trembled, tears immediately streaming down her face. Justin pushed me from behind. Allison Hayes. Qingyao didn't do it on purpose. Why are you being so harsh? Besides, aren't you the professional here? You still have a map in your bag. Worst case, we can just use that. He reached out to wipe the tears from Xu Qingyao's face, his heartache written all over his expression. Every time Xu Qingyao cries, Justin can't stand it. To safely return to the base, I took a deep breath and said nothing more, leading them forward. Wait a minute, Justin bro, this place is so beautiful. Can you take a photo for me? Xu Qingyao stopped and handed the camera to Justin. I had no choice but to stop and watch them laugh and chat while taking photos. Justin, it's getting late. We need to reach the summit early and descend immediately. The temperature will drop significantly after dark, and we must return to base before then. I tugged at Justin's sleeve. He agreed verbally, but his hands didn't stop taking photos. When we traveled together, I wanted Justin to take photos for me. He fiddled with the camera casually, saying he wasn't very good at photography. You're so pretty, Qingyao, you should take more photos. He directed Xu Qingyao to pose. Justin, let's shoot a video too. After recording, I can submit it and get my full-time position, Xu Qingyao said while taking something out of her bag. 3 months ago, Xu Qingyao returned to China and became an intern at the TV station where Justin worked. The leader hoped she could deliver a high-quality interview video. Upon hearing that I was a member of the polar expedition team, she pleaded with Justin to bring her to the base where I worked. The colleagues were very kind and cooperated actively with the interview, but as soon as Xu Qingyao arrived, she started whining about the environment, pointing here and there, asking endless questions, which annoyed everyone. Out of respect for Justin, I took them up the mountain alone, just wanting to finish the task quickly and send her away. With a bang, the sound of an explosion rang in my ears. I turned my head in fright and saw Xu Qingyao holding a party popper, with glitter fluttering in the wind. What are you doing? Furious, I slapped her without hesitation, setting off party poppers in the snowy mountains. What kind of idiotic idea was that? Qingyao, Justin anxiously supported Xu Qingyao, turning to glare at me fiercely. Allison, shouldn't people have some basic principles? He kicked over, and I lost my balance, tumbling down the hillside, my knee striking against a large rock. An excruciating pain shot through me as I groaned in agony. Justin held Xu Qingyao in his arms, watching coldly from above. No one could have imagined that this indifferent man would be getting a marriage certificate with me in just one day. Without time to grieve, I mustered all my strength to climb up and said in a serious tone, there might be an avalanche soon. There's a shelter back along this path. Let's take cover there first. After glancing in the direction I pointed, Justin's expression softened slightly. Oh no, I feel completely weak all over. What should I do, Justin brother? Xu Qingyao said with teary eyes. Justin, without saying a word, picked Xu Qingyao up in his arms. I'll carry you over, no problem. He threw the backpack at my feet and told me to hurry up and follow. Climbing up just now nearly exhausted all my strength. Gritting my teeth, I pleaded with Justin. Justin, can you let her walk by herself? I'm injured and can't go on. Justin glanced at me. You're the professional. Just push through a little more and we'll make it. Qingyao is different. She's never been here before and is still running a fever. Allison, stop pretending and hurry up. Without another glance at me, he strode off toward the shelter. I had no choice but to pick up my backpack and force myself to follow behind. Justin was moving so fast that I soon lost sight of him. At that moment, with a thunderous roar, the avalanche struck. I don't know how much time had passed when someone woke me up. And only then did I realize it was already dark. My colleague Qianqian patted my cheek, tears streaming down her face. It was very late, and the medical team couldn't make it up, but all my colleagues had come. Your fiancé came back with that woman, saying they hadn't seen you, so we knew something had happened. We've been searching with detectives for so long before finding you. Allison, hold on. We'll take you down for treatment. The team leader held my hand, his voice choked with emotion. I'm already breathing more out than in at this point. Qianqian, do you have a voice recorder? I want to say something. Buried in the snow for too long, I was already beyond saving. A wisp of my soul drifted out, watching from above as Qianqian cried while performing CPR on me. I followed them back to the base. Justin had already taken Xu Qingyao to the town at the foot of the mountain. The colleague left behind looked very upset. Allison's fiancé said that woman had a fever and insisted on taking her away first. He didn't care about Allison at all. You'd think he was someone else's fiancé. After a long silence, my colleagues held a simple funeral for me, then arranged for a vehicle to transport my body back home. A mysterious force carried away my soul, bringing me beside Justin. He was sitting next to Xu Qingyao, feeding her carefully, afraid the food might be too hot. He blew on the spoon several times before bringing it to her lips. Justin, if we just leave like this, what about Allison? Xu Qingyao's expression showed a hint of guilt. Allison is a professional. She trained for a year before joining the expedition team. I don't believe anything could happen to her. Justin tried to feed her again, but Xu Qingyao coquettishly refused to eat more. Justin smiled dotingly and finished the remaining porridge directly from the bowl. I remember he has misophobia and would never eat someone else's leftovers. Justin's phone suddenly received a message. He clicked, and my faint, barely audible voice came through the phone. Justin, I'm about to die. I'll hate you for the rest of my life. Justin changed his expression and turned off his phone. Justin, did something happen? Xu Qingyao asked. Allison just loves using these little tricks to get my attention. Never mind her, let her be. If she can send messages on her phone, it means she's already back at her workplace. Why should we worry about her? Justin patted Xu Qingyao's head and went out to wash the dishes. I followed behind him, watching him skillfully wash the dishes with mixed feelings. When we were together, he said he couldn't do household chores, so I took care of everything with a wave of my hand. For 8 years, he would return to the bedroom to rest after meals, never even bothering to clear the table. Turns out, it wasn't that he couldn't, but that he wouldn't. Xu Qingyao only had a minor cold. After receiving an 4 drip for a while, she was already well enough to be discharged from the hospital. Justin helped her pack her clothes, saying he had already bought train tickets back to Jiangsu City. Justin, bro, aren't we waiting for Allison, sis? No need, she knows the way home, has her own legs, and can go back by herself. After returning to Jiangsu, Xu Qingyao submitted the recorded video and successfully passed her probation period as expected. She smiled at Justin and said, Justin, bro, thanks to you, I was able to pass my probation. Let me treat you to dinner tonight. Okay, of course, that sounds great. Justin opened his phone to book a restaurant, glanced at the message from my colleague, and swiped it away without a second thought. A live streamer noticed Xu Qingyao's hand and exclaimed in surprise, Xu Qingyao, are you engaged? That huge diamond ring is absolutely stunning. Xu Qingyao shyly looked at Justin and nodded. Justin and I have been in a relationship for 8 years, and last month we decided to get married. Both families have almost finalized the arrangements. 5 days ago, I found Justin's pocket containing a box with a diamond ring, and I was overjoyed. But Justin didn't propose to me for several days, until I saw Xu Qingyao's social media post. Thank you, my childhood sweetheart. Finally have a diamond ring in this lifetime. The accompanying picture was exactly that diamond ring. I confronted Justin, and he explained that it was something Xu Qingyao had asked him to buy, and that I had misunderstood. Seeing how angry I was, he promised we'd go get our marriage license as soon as we got off haze, so I decided to believe him for the time being. Keep it down, there are too many eyes and ears around the studio. Justin chided Xu Qingyao with a reproachful look. Hey, can't I just be happy? You've kept the promises you made to me before, so of course I want to announce it to the world. Xu Qingyao linked arms with Justin. Justin didn't resist, instead wrapping his arm around Xu Qingyao's waist. After finishing their meal, Xu Qingyao said she had drunk too much and wanted to rest. Justin took her directly back to our marital home. This apartment was part of my dowry from my parents, freshly renovated just a few months ago. Justin and I were planning to move in after getting our marriage certificate. As soon as she entered the door, Xu Qingyao staggered weakly and leaned against Justin. Justin Ji, could you wait for me? She pressed close to Justin, her eyes blurred with tears. Justin stiffened, his breathing quickening as the two drew closer. The ringing phone shattered the ambiguous atmosphere. Justin frowned and answered the call. It was my colleague Qianqian, calling to say that my remains had arrived in Jiangju City and required a family member's signature for receipt. Justin let out a cold laugh. I say, Allison's colleagues, you must be really bored to death. It must have taken a lot of effort for her to ask you to put on this act, right? Tell Allison. If she keeps this up, I won't marry her anymore. Qianqian fell silent for a moment on the other end, as if wanting to say more, Justin, but he hung up the phone. Xu Qingyao seemed to sober up considerably. Leaning against Justin, she whispered, Justin, are you really not going to marry her? Justin paused briefly. Back when we went hiking, it was you who saved me, yet she took credit for it and even hurt you. I've always felt that deep down, she remains that spoiled, scheming person. He cupped Xu Qingyao's face in his hands and gently placed a kiss upon it, as if she were a treasured jewel. And you are my little mermaid. So Justin still suspects me. Before going abroad, Xu Qingyao invited me and Justin to go hiking. Xu Qingyao insisted on eating the fruit. Justin climbed up the tree branch to pick it for her, but accidentally fell and was knocked unconscious. When I climbed down the cliff to rescue him, I cut my wrist, and the scar remains to this day. When I returned with the scenic area staff, Xu Qingyao was sitting Justin by his side, crying her heart out. Later, when I said it was me who saved him, Justin coldly showed me the photos Xu Qingyao had sent him. There was a shocking scar on her wrist, even more terrifying than mine. Later, Xu Qingyao went abroad, and I gradually forgot about this matter. I never expected Justin to remember it all along. Then why did you still stay with her? Xu Qingyao's expression was very unnatural. Justin, however, didn't notice, because I'm used to it. He pondered for a moment. Her parents promised me 800,000 as a dowry to bring along. So that's how it is. I stared at them blankly. I had actually loved such a man for 8 years. How many 8-year spans does one have in a lifetime? Xu Qingyao slept in the master bedroom. She wore my silk pajamas and slept in the master bedroom I had personally decorated. In the middle of the night, Xu Qingyao said she had a fever. Justin couldn't find any cold medicine at home and called me. After more than a dozen unanswered calls in a row, Justin became irritated. Allison, if you keep playing these tricks, I won't marry you. He sent a voice message through his phone before realizing I hadn't been home for 4 days. Justin bro, I feel so unwell, Xu Qingyao whimpered. Justin immediately draped a coat over her and carried her out the door. I used to have stomachaches. Justin would never take care of me. He would just pour me a glass of hot water and tell me to rest at home. Allison, you've undergone special training and spent so long on snowy mountains. A little cold is nothing. Just tough it out and you'll be fine. It wasn't until I passed out from acute gastroenteritis that he panicked and rushed me to the hospital. After a whole night of chaos, Justin had pent-up anger with nowhere to vent, so he ranted in our chat for a long time. Allison, you have 1 hour. If you don't show up before me by then, we're breaking up. He turned off his phone and went to work at the TV station with a grim expression. The morning news covered major international events. Justin performed well, smoothly completing the broadcast before the director handed him a new script. Now for a breaking news update. On October 4th, an avalanche struck an expedition team leading tourists in our country's snowy mountains. The accident resulted in the death of 1 team member. With authorities currently investigating the deceased female team member, Allison, Justin's voice grew fainter until he saw my name, his mouth agape, unable to utter a single syllable. The director quickly cut the feed. Justin stood up and dialed my number again and again. Unfortunately, My phone had already been buried by Qianqian at the foot of the snow-capped mountain. He called Qianqian, but she said, "I told you long ago to come sign and claim Allison's body, but you didn't believe me. Allison's death, you know better than anyone how it happened. Our expedition team will keep investigating this matter." Justin had a momentary look of stunned confusion. He pushed past the staff crowding around him and sprinted toward the door. My parents were traveling abroad, Qianqian couldn't be reached. And in the end, it was Qianqian who drove over to sign the papers. Justin arrived to find my parents collapsed over me, weeping as if their hearts would break. I looked at them and couldn't help but shed tears. Back then, Justin was a poor boy. While my family had some assets, my parents worried that I wouldn't have a good life with Justin, so they secretly and openly supported us, even buying me a house in the city center to live in. When we moved into the house together, Justin had a look of pure delight in his eyes. He said he would love me until the day he died. My parents felt sorry for me and pulled some strings to get Justin, who had an average academic background, into the provincial TV station. Justin lived up to expectations with his strong professional skills, quickly gaining many fans and becoming a star anchor at the TV station. But after his success, he never mentioned marriage again. My parents couldn't wait and urged him several times before Justin finally agreed to register our marriage within 3 months. Counting the days, tomorrow was supposed to be the day we agreed to get our marriage license. Justin walked up close, trembling as he lifted the white cloth covering my face. I was unlucky, frozen to death, my face pale and blue, my lips completely colorless. He gasped for breath, unable to utter a single word. My daughter, my mother cried until she fainted, and when my father saw Justin, he slapped him hard. "What did you promise me back then? You said you would definitely treat Allison well. How well did you do? I heard you were there too. How come you're standing here unharmed while my daughter is dead?" Justin hung his head, one hand clenched tightly. I thought she would be fine." Qianqian was wiping my arm. Justin glanced over and saw the scar on my wrist. He stood frozen for a long moment before walking over to touch it. Because he saw the butterfly-shaped birthmark on the arm, Justin began trembling, pointing at the birthmark and asking, "Has she had this since childhood?" My dad snorted coldly. "You two have been together for so long, and you still don't know." During high school, after finishing cram school, I saw someone standing on the rooftop of a building on my way home. That was Justin, who had lost both parents and was in utter despair at the time. I had heard of his deeds, so I climbed up the stairs and gave him all the spare change I had. It was raining that night, and I was wearing a hat, so he only clearly saw the birthmark on my arm. Later, I transferred to another school. And after going around in circles, I got to know Justin and Xu Qingyao again. Everyone knew that it was Xu Qingyao who had saved Justin, which was why Justin treated her so differently. But what he didn't know was that the person back then wasn't Xu Qingyao at all. After we got together, he was hardly ever intimate with me. On the rare occasions when we did, he insisted on turning off the lights, so I never got to see. "So it was you who saved me back then." Justin's voice was hoarse. My father didn't want to exchange another word with him and shoved him out of the funeral home. Xu Qingyao's call came through. "Justin, I'm not feeling well. Could you come over to the house?" Ever since Xu Qingyao returned to the country, no matter the time, as long as she called, Justin would immediately drop whatever he was doing. This had happened countless times already. He flagged down a car and rushed to the wedding venue. Xu Qingyao immediately put on a smile. But Justin grabbed her arm directly and rolled up her sleeve. "Justin, you're hurting me." Justin stared for a long time before slumping down in defeat. "How did your scar disappear?" Xu Qingyao looked at her wrist and pouted. "Didn't I tell you, I care about my appearance, so I had scar removal surgery." "What about the birthmark?" Justin's voice was so faint it seemed almost ethereal. "What thing? Birthmark?" "Justin, you must be mistaken. I've never had any birthmark on my body." Xu Qingyao frowned, then had her arm Justin viciously grabbed and restrained. "So you've been lying to me. The one who initially gave me hope wasn't you, and the one who later saved me on the mountain wasn't you either. It was Allison, right?" Xu Qingyao remained silent. "Tell me," Justin roared. Seeing she couldn't hide it anymore, Xu Qingyao had no choice but to tell the truth. "I did pass by that building. But I never went upstairs, and I never admitted to being the one who helped you. That time we went hiking, I did find you unconscious on the trail. Justin pushed open the door and stumbled out onto the main road. When my parents arrived at our wedding apartment with security guards, Xu Qingyao was still sitting at the dressing table sending messages to Justin. Who are you? What do you want? Her parents directed the security guards to drag her out. You're living in my daughter's wedding house. Where did you come from, illegally occupying a private residence? Call the police now. Xu Qingyao tearfully explained that Justin had brought her here. The security guards didn't care about this and dragged her out. The elderly residents in the neighborhood stood at the entrance of the building unit, watching the scene. Xu Qingyao was only wearing a silk camisole, which inevitably led to gossip, with people speculating that the legal wife had come to confront the mistress. Xu Qingyao covered her face, continuously trying to explain, and then ran out crying. The base had previously experienced a power outage, and it was only then that colleagues discovered several large pieces of equipment were broken. After inspection, the engineer pointed out that it wasn't due to natural wear and tear, but rather deliberate sabotage. The circuit board inside had water damage and was beyond repair. This was undoubtedly a significant financial loss for the expedition team. The leader immediately reported it to the police, since the base housed important equipment. It was under surveillance, though the cameras were quite discreet and hard to notice without careful inspection. The police checked the surveillance footage and only then realized it was Xu Qingyao who did it. That day she came for an interview, speaking quite bluntly. My colleague didn't want to be interviewed, so I took Justin out for filming, leaving Xu Qingyao alone to sulk. Her expression was terrible. She twisted open a bottle of orange juice, took a few sips, and leaned against the equipment. The orange juice cap wasn't tightened properly, and it all spilled onto the equipment, causing the screen to go black instantly. Xu Qingyao panicked, looking around frantically, and upon finding no surveillance cameras, she immediately unplugged the power cord. But secrets are hard to keep. After a brief pause, she took out a bottle of water from her bag and poured it directly onto the power strip next to the computer. With a sizzling sound, the entire screen went black. That sudden power outage brought the entire expedition team's research to a halt. Qianqian's calculated data, which hadn't been uploaded to the system in time, was lost completely. Everyone thought it was just an ordinary accident, something that had happened before. So no one pursued it further. The leader had already called the police, and the officers detained Xu Qingyao. Qianqian, unable to contain her anger, directly posted the whole story along with the surveillance footage online. Public opinion exploded quickly, instantly topping the trending searches. And the news of my death also went viral. Xu Qingyao's incident has brought significant negative impact to the TV station. Previously, with Justin's strong recommendation, the station had Xu Qingyao appear on a currently popular variety show, but now the comment section is flooded with criticism. Under pressure, the TV station edited out and blurred parts featuring Xu Qingyao. The TV station's leadership summoned Justin back and severely reprimanded him. Her previous unprofessional behavior during news broadcasts had already created a negative impression for the station, but now it's another issue with the host's conduct, and this time involving two people. The boss is so furious he wants to Justin skinned alive. You're not a newcomer, you've been at the TV station for 6 or 7 years. Do I really need to teach you about such matters? That Xu Qingyao looks flighty enough as it is. I thought you were steady and could guide her, but instead, the two of you got involved. How is our TV station supposed to hold its head up in front of others after this? Justin kept his head down, silent, his gaze vacant. There's nothing more to say. Write your resignation now, and I'll approve it immediately. Afterward, the TV station will issue a statement, and you'll need to sign it, confirming that you have no further ties with the station. The leader tossed a piece of paper to Justin, which floated lightly into his hand. Justin wrote a resignation letter as instructed on the paper and walked out of the TV station building. It had started raining outside. Justin was completely drenched, aimlessly walking through the crowd. Someone recognized him and began whispering. Some outraged onlookers even threw trash at Justin. Justin ignored it and walked straight to our marital home. The door lock had been changed by my parents. When he tried to open it with his key, he realized he couldn't get in. 2 large bags were piled at the doorstep. These contained Justin's belongings. Packed by the cleaners at my parents' request, he crouched down, opened the package, and found a letter placed on top. It was the one I wrote to him after discovering the keys in his pocket. Later, it turned out to be a misunderstanding. Before I could throw the letter away, the cleaner probably thought it was something important and packed it in with the rest. Justin opened it with trembling hands. "Justin, you big dummy. You finally came to your senses and proposed to me. After being together, you never bought me any decent gifts. How did you know Jasmine is my favorite? Hey. I was being naughty and deliberately rejected you. Would you just stand there frozen? Just imagining that scene makes me excited. That day I was overjoyed for the longest time, wearing the ring on my finger and unable to resist taking a photo. Back then, I truly looked forward to a proper proposal and a wedding ceremony. But Justin only bought the Jasmine-style ring because it had a pink diamond on it. Xu Qingyao likes pink. It was the 3rd day since Xu Qingyao returned to the country. There was no particular reason, just that Justin wanted to give Xu Qingyao a gift. Justin couldn't hold back his sobs, clutching that piece of paper tightly to his chest. Inside that bag was also my diary. I've always had the habit of keeping a diary. Justin never knew about it. He took the things back to his rented place and accidentally knocked over a red-covered notebook. Picking it up, he realized it bore my handwriting. I'm very sentimental, reluctant to part with many old things. Especially diaries. Several books went missing during the move, but the one from high school somehow survived. July 7th, heavy rain. On my way home today, I encountered a classmate who wanted to end his life. I'd heard of him, a poor student from the neighboring class. I don't know why he felt so desperate. But I didn't say anything. I just gave him all my meal money for the month, hoping it might help a little, with my parents away on business this month. It looks like I'll be having a tough time. Justin collapsed onto the sofa, covering his face and sobbing uncontrollably. I sat beside him, looking at the scattered diaries on the floor, and sighed. Because I gave the money to Justin, I lived on boiled vegetables for a month, suffering from severe malnutrition, which left me with a stomach condition. When my parents returned from their business trip and saw what I had done to my health, they couldn't bear to leave me alone here anymore. So they arranged for me to transfer schools and leave Haizhou. That's why Justin mistook Xu Qingyao for me. He read through all of my diaries, lying pale-faced on the ground, murmuring my name incessantly. But what's the use? I'm already dead. Justin suddenly seemed to remember something, abruptly got up, and took a taxi straight to the funeral home. It was nearly dawn, with few people on the road, and the security guard at the funeral home was drowsy. Justin rushed in, grabbed the security guard, and asked, "Allison, the one brought in the day before yesterday, named Allison, is she still here?" The security guard impatiently pushed him away. "She's already dead. What are you doing here? Wait, let me check for you." As the security guard flipped through the records, Justin broke out in a cold sweat. His eyes fixed on the guard's ledger, afraid of missing any information. "Allison, is that the one? Her family already queued up to have her cremated yesterday. Took her away early. If you're looking, go find her family." Justin hailed another taxi and rushed to my parents' house. It was already very late at this point, and my parents didn't give him a warm welcome. They immediately kicked him out without even letting him through the door. "You caused the death of my only daughter. And yet you have the audacity to come to our home. Just wait, Justin. I'll make sure you can't survive in Haizhou." Justin walked down the street in a daze, eventually stopping at a convenience store to buy a 6-pack before climbing alone to the rooftop of our marital home. After drinking 2 cans of beer, he looked up at the sky and asked, "Allison, are you deeply disappointed in me? From the moment we got together, I never gave you what you truly wanted. Even the only time I managed to surprise you, it turned out the gift was meant for someone else. Truth is, I'd been disappointed for a long time." He never flipped to the later diary entries. "The moment I discovered the ring was bought for Xu Qingyao, I'd already begun planning my departure. I just hadn't taken action yet, and now I've died so early. I actually never stopped loving you. I just wanted to repay a kindness. I thought the person who saved me twice was Qingyao." I was planning to marry you. We were going to get married on that day. I'd even set the date. How could you die like this? But that doesn't prove anything. Justin, I come from a good family, with loving parents, a job I'm passionate about, and I shine in my professional field. It's all because of you that I've lost everything, even my life. What's the use of you saying you love me now? Justin stood up, downed the last can of beer in one gulp, and swayed unsteadily as he looked up at the stars. Allison, you know, the stars were just as bright that night in high school. It was raining heavily that night. There were no stars at all. Why won't you answer me, Allison? Justin covered his eyes, and in a moment of carelessness, slipped and fell. He died too. I'm a bit nervous. If I don't leave after dying, will I encounter the deceased Justin? I don't want to see him right now. Fortunately, my consciousness is gradually fading. I seem to have floated past my home and saw my parents talking. Not the present, but my parents from several years ago. They held a bank card, smiling as they discussed, saying they wanted to buy me a house as a wedding home. We hope our daughter can always be happy. The young man seems quite reliable. As long as he treats Allison well, we can rest assured. As long as she's happy. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. So feel free to share your opinions, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great stories. We'll see you in the next video.